Alright you guys, today we're going to be learning about Skittle Launcher Vertex practice. So we are going to be starting our Skittle launching project. So we need to first work with trying to we're going to be given a vertex and a point from each of our problems here. I'm going to be doing number 1 for you guys, and you're going to attempt number 2. So we're going to determine the equation of the parabola in vertex form, and then from vertex form we're then going to put the equation into standard form. So remember that our vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So we're going to be using our vertex. Remember our vertex was h and k, and then our point was x comma y. So we're going to use these points to start plugging in our values. So I'm going to start off with the y, which is 4. I don't know my a yet, that's why I need to use this point in order to figure that out. So we have a still as our variable. Then I need x, which my x is right here, that's a 1. And then minus h, which means that it is the opposite sign, so it was already a negative, so negative times a negative is a positive, so this is now going to be a positive 3 squared. Then we have our k, this sign stays the same, so I have a minus 4 here. So what I'm going to try and do first is actually solve for a so I can get the whole vertex form equation. So 4 plus 4 is 8 equals a, and then 1 plus 3 is 4. And I'm now going to square that value. And once I square it, you end up getting your 16. So usually we put our 16, our numbers, in front of the coefficient, so I'm going to do that so it looks more mathy and looks more normal. And then we're going to divide both sides by 16, and we're going to simplify that fraction of making it 1/2. The reason why we simplified it is that 8 goes into both those values. 8 goes into 8 one time, and then 8 goes into 16 two times. So my a value is 1/2, which means it's going to be much wider than its normal regular parent function of its vertex. It will still be positive, so my vertex form of my equation is y equals 1/2, that's my new a value. We always have an x and a y in our equation, and again negative times a negative is a positive, so this is a positive 3 squared, and then minus 4. So this is our vertex form of our equation. We are now going to use that to put it into standard form. So let me go ahead and write out what standard form is so we know what we are looking for. And that is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And then my equation from that last side was y equals 1/2 x plus 3 squared minus 4. I'm just going to double check that I have that right. X plus 3 squared minus 4. Awesome. So I'm now going to put my equation into standard form now. So y equals, this little squared means that we have to write out those parentheses 2 times. You can't just distribute it. I know we want to. It looks way easier to do that. So now I am going to go ahead and distribute inside the parentheses first. Just leaving that 1/2. I'll work with the fractions later. I just don't want to get messy with fractions just yet. So always distribute those parentheses first. So I have x times x is x squared. X times 3 is a 3x. 3 times x is 3x again. And 3 times 3 is 9. I still have that negative 4 out there. I'm now going to combine like terms again before I distribute that 1/2. I still want to work with smaller numbers. My like terms I have are the 3x's. I have 2 of them. So 3x plus 3x, we end up getting 6x. And we still have our positive 9 and then our minus 4. Again, I am going to actually subtract. Let's do the halves right now. It might just make it more difficult. I might actually do subtract 4. We'll see if we get different answers. Okay, yes, I am breaking math rules, so we have to use, I was going to try and take the easy way out, but you have to actually, we're using PEMDAS, so we need to now multiply these values first. So let's go ahead and back up. 1/2 times x squared, we just get y equals 1 times x squared is just x squared, divided by 2. You guys could definitely write it like this as well if you want. I'm going to leave it as x squared divided by 2. Then we're going to multiply 1/2 times 6x, so 1 times 6x is 6x. Divide that by 2. I'm going to simplify everything in a second. 9 divided by 2, and then we have our minus 4 on the outside here. I'm going to go ahead and simplify all these. This is just going to be x squared divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I have a 3x there. And then 9 divided by 2, we get a 4.5. We're going to be working in decimals. And then now my last step is just to subtract that 4. So I have y equals, and actually I am going to, you're right, like we have our coefficients of a. So let's actually see that we do have a 1/2 as our coefficient on that x squared. And then our 3x, and then 4.5 minus 4 is just 0.5. Okay, so that is now our standard form equation here. So that is how we will be determining from a given point and a vertex. Our vertex and our point, we went to our vertex form, and then using our vertex form, we are then able to make it to standard form. Alright, you guys, I want you just to go ahead and practice this. I want you to do number 2. Try it on your own, and I'll see you in class. Thanks.